News time 7:12, and according to court papers that were filed last Wednesday, Wells Fargo employees were ordered to go out, round up undocumented immigrants and other workers, and herd them into branches so they could be coaxed into opening checking accounts. This is so strange.
Financial analyst Bobby Albert is joining us on the Kogo News Live line. Bobby, what in the world was Wells Fargo either trying to do or not trying to do here?
Well, good morning. This is a culture that has completely gone off the railroad tracks. When I've studied about looking at cultures in the workplace, this is an example of how not to do it. I went to download their vision and their values, which are two of the four key fundamental truths of the culture that you want in an organization. And just looking at their vision, they've missed the mark. It's really their purpose statement, not their vision statement. When I look at their values, they're not behaviors, they're like outcomes they want. And when you look at their code of ethics, they completely violated their code of ethics because they talk a lot about integrity and doing the right thing. And I tell you what, it always starts at the top of the organization, and that's the reason why they were major changes, and that's the reason why in a recent annual meeting of the investors that many of the board of directors that were up to renew their position barely got by. This is really bad news.
Now, I mean, there's been a whole host of problems with Wells Fargo opening accounts for people, charging them for accounts, and these were accounts that people never even authorized, et cetera. This seems to be more than a problem with culture. There's some major dishonesty and law breaking going on here.
Well, exactly right. And of course, several states and even the federal government has gone in and they're doing investigations right now, and that's exactly what you just said. There may be some possible criminal charges here. I'm not a lawyer, but there's these people. They had so much. It was a sales pressure, mainly driven. It had to be by the top, but also driven by a particular lady that oversaw the sales practices, because she was she had so much fear that of turning in sales goals that met up with what the CEO wanted.
All right. So, when did this start and when did this stop?
You know what? That's a very good question, because this goes all the way back through the research. The internal investigation goes back to 2002. If you can imagine that. And many employees were already, in 2004, were already writing letters to the executives sharing about what they saw that violated the culture and the values of the organization. But it got ignored because there was such a drive for results, for profitability, and because of that overlooked the integrity issues.
Wow. All right, Bobby, thank you very much. Bobby Albert joining us on the Kogo News Live line this morning about Wells Fargo and its practices.
Kogo News time 7:17.